Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Vault, the show where we reach back into the Disney vault, pull out a movie, and find out if it was a hidden treasure or if it was locked away for our own good. I'm your host, Garrison MacCraw, and today, three of you? How did you all get into the studio?
You let me into the house.
I live here.
I followed them.
Sam Smith, Tim Watt, and Jayden McGrael, you're all here?
Yeah.
This is amazing. Wow. I've never...
You've never had people in your house before?
I was homeschooled. I've never talked to this many people at one time.
How many siblings do you have?
I don't talk to my siblings.
Me neither, I get that.
You don't talk to my siblings?
No, I don't talk to your siblings. They're
What?
lame.
Yeah, take that, Austin.
Okay,
Say
Austin.
it.
Cool.
Austin
I actually have
like-
something to say about Austin.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the air. So when I was over for your birthday, Garrison's birthday was not long ago. We had a party. It was fun. Austin was there, and I was on the ground, and in my peripheral, I see a butt. And I was like, that's Garrison's butt, but it was Austin's butt. You guys have the same butt.
Thank you for that, officer.
What a weird way to say that you've been staring at my boyfriend's butt.
No,
Hey, it's
very
okay if
clear.
you stare at his.
it was...
I mean,
want
Tim's,
to.
not Garrison's, but you can stare at Tim's. He's got a tantrum.
No thanks.
Tonka.
I bet you're all wondering why I brought you here today.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
We're watching Hocus Pocus for Halloween.
Honkus
Oh.
Ponkus.
So I've never seen this movie.
Yeah, you're the only one. Sam, you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Jaden, you've seen it.
I am the Hocus Pocus expert.
Hocus-
Are you an expert?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've watched this like 2 or 3 times every season, but he's never seen it, so I was like, I can't watch it this year, so.
Yeah. It's like one of my favorite childhood
So
movies.
my parents were very conservative, so just anything that was witchcraft related was always a touchy thing. Not that they ever said you cannot watch Hocus Pocus, but it was just one that wasn't on our regular watch list. So based on that, my impression of this film is that it's filled with just the worst kind of witchcraft, like devil worship, child sacrifice, drinking of blood, worship of the full moon,
Goats.
burning at the stake, all that stuff.
Women.
Yeah, women.
Women's rights, all that awful satanic stuff.
So Tim, what Halloween movies were in your regular rotation?
Halloween Town.
Okay.
Halloween
Yes.
Town 2, Calabar's Revenge.
Both of them contain witches. The
Yeah.
main characters are witches.
Here's the thing, the whole
And
thing
women.
the whole thing was inconsistent because I was allowed to watch Lord of the Rings. However, I was not allowed to watch Harry Potter. Made no
Ooh.
sense.
Did anyone else have similar experiences?
No, my mom didn't care.
My mom loves everything witchcraft except for in the real world.
But
Yeah.
it's weird because my mom was obsessed with all of the Universal monster films, so I watched those. I've seen every Vincent Price movie multiple times because my mom was into that. Seen all of the Alfred Hitchcock movies. So all the classic horror films and suspense films I've seen, but for some reason Hocus Pocus was
the best of the horror film.
Yeah, the movie was not good, so I never watched it.
I want to play a fun game with Sam and Jayden. I call it a sentence about the movie that's true, but will sound really weird to Tim. Jayden, do you have a sentence that's true about this movie, but it will sound really weird to Tim?
Lots of virgins in this Disney movie.
Lost of Virgins?
Lots of virgins.
So
gonna
that
say the
okay,
same.
so that actually makes sense because I have a theory about the whole plot of this movie that
Yeah?
might involve virgins.
Sounds good.
Sam?
Why is he hot?
Is that your sentence? Why is he
Yep.
hot?
Why is he hot?
I understand.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand. This movie had my first childhood crush in it.
Why is he hot? Tim, can you give us your guess as to what this movie's about?
All right.
Because we have the poster in front of you.
So I'm looking at the poster.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that, first of all, it gives off a lot of gay energy. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first you have this New England looking sleepy town, which is where all closeted gays are from. Then you have the full moon.
Obviously.
Astrology, the most gay thing on the planet. Then,
Wait, hold on, pause. Astrology is the most gay thing on the planet?
well,
Not
and
even
the
the
stars
Yeah. Off the planet, too.
of the planet. The planets.
With the planets.
Speaking of which, Libra season was not my friend this
No.
year. It wasn't that great.
If we're talking astrology, it's because every single planet is in retrograde right now. So it's the opposite
Is
of
that why
Libra
it still
season.
sucks right now?
Yeah, I'm having a bad time lately. Anyways, so you got the moon. Then there's these 3 women on the vacuum. I just now noticed it was a vacuum. That's fun. There's 2 older ones, and then there's one younger hot one. And I think that though the other 2 are predatory gays, which we're all familiar with.
Yep.
And the other one is like not like closeted gay, but like doesn't know she's gay yet. And that is what the whole movie's about. And she uses witch power. They use witch powers to basically like
As a metaphor?
as a metaphor to
awaken her.
to awaken
For
her
sapphic lesbianism.
exactly. And of course, just like everybody knows, all gay people are involved in witchcraft. So at least that's what my father tells me. So yeah, I think that's what it's about.
Sam, do you think Tim's gonna like this movie?
I think there's gonna be moments that he really enjoys, and there's gonna be moments he's gonna go, what the heck is happening?
I think he'll enjoy a lot of the humor in this
Yes.
movie. Like, especially because you just mentioned the vacuum. That's, like, one of my favorite things that exists in this movie is the vacuum
Yeah.
bit.
I definitely think there's gonna be a certain sequence with a certain song that you're gonna either really, really like or really critique.
Also, they're all like, well, I'm pretty sure 2 of them are definitely sisters, right? And like, it's just the Sanderson sisters. Is like that's where that comes from.
Those are words used in the movie.
So okay, so the Sanderson sisters. My prediction is that they are related to Bernie Sanders.
Oh no.
No.
Not the
They're-
other way.
And that's why your dad didn't let you watch this movie.
Yeah, even back then he was like that. Bernie Sanders, no good. Bernie Sanders. Go vote, people.
Yeah.
Go vote.
I can't
please.
believe this movie. We are already way more political than the one about fighting Nazis. I can't
Which
believe
one was
it.
that?
The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie either.
Oh, Tim.
Maybe I should listen to your
Maybe we
podcast
should-
more.
Yeah. I think that's all we can really discuss before watching this thing, so I think we should get to it.
Okay.
And we are back. We have just finished watching Hocus Pocus. Everyone, how are we feeling?
Amazing.
It was fine. It was fine.
It's
Well,
okay to have bad taste.
It was okay. Wow. Okay.
Wrong opinions.
How about we just jump right into the plot?
Okay.
So we open up in Salem, Michigan, right? I'm not Michigan. Sorry. So we open up in Salem, Massachusetts, not Michigan.
I'm pretty sure it's Michigan.
We open up in Salem, United States. And there are
It
these.
isn't the United States yet. If it's the 1600s.
We open up in Salem. There's a boy, and apparently there's a bunch of witches all over Salem, and it's a big problem. Specifically 3 witches, the Sanderson sisters. And this boy, Thackeray Binks, is like, oh my god, I think my sister's been taken by a Sanderson sister.
Because she has.
They're running.
Yeah.
They're
She's on the broom. Like,
I think
yeah,
it's just like a
she's
known
going.
thing. It's like, oh, this year my sister got taken. Better go run after him.
It's like straight galloping and like the wild.
He was
Wild.
frolicking. Like,
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
very
he
much
was- well,
frolicking.
His arms were out. He was going for it.
T-pose.
T-pose.
T-pose. So he goes to their house.
Yeah.
And he sees his sister getting potionified.
Very sweatily.
Yeah, very spooked.
It's
Yeah.
very sweaty.
Yeah, the 3 sisters, Winifred, Sarah, and Mary, they like to feed on the youth of children to retain their youth. So that's what they're doing with Binks' sister.
Well, don't we all?
Thackeray goes to his father, gets a mob together. The mob shows up and arrests the Sanderson sisters and kill them.
Yeah, I was really shocked. I was like, oh, the movie's over.
Well,
This is it.
they do a lot before then, because he ends up as a cat
Thanks.
It's
During
true.
this
Oh
time.
yeah, they're all like pissy because they didn't get to eat the girl, so they're like, "Aha!
well,
You shall
they
be
did.
cat forever."
I mean, they did technically
They-
consume Emily, but
Yeah.
But they still weren't happy.
they weren't. It's not enough because now Thackeray was a big mouth blubber boy and decided to go and become a cat and tell
That's
on
true.
him.
Yeah.
But Tim, you seemed pretty shocked by the witch's death scene.
Yeah, like they just died. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, here's my thing about this movie. The marketing is garbage because I thought that the sisters were like the protagonists, like the main characters. Like I was gonna cheer for them. So like when the boy like interrupted them, I was like, "What the heck, man? These are the good guys." And then they died.
Right before their death, they relay a curse saying, "Hey, if any virgins out there light this black flame candle in like 300 years on like Halloween or something, I don't know, we'll just come back because we can do that. We get a it's like a
Free pass.
extra life, but it's under very certain circumstances."
Yeah.
And then we cut to the modern
300
day.
years later.
Yeah, the modern day of
To Salem, now United States. Now
Michigan.
Now it, yeah,
Now
sure.
Michigan, United States, Salem University.
So we're in the modern day of 1993.
That's like 30 years ago.
I know.
Modern.
Wait, it's not 1993 is like 30.
It's
Yeah.
closer.
That's wild.
Did you know
27 years. Exactly.
it is farther away from now to the movie Hocus Pocus and when the Sanderson sisters died? That's a closer time span.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of when did
That was a joke.
when did integration happen? Like civil rights. That was like what 1960
Yeah.
something. So it's like just as close to that as it is today, which is to be said that guys, racism is not like of the past, like that's still in our present. So vote please.
So there's a kid, Max, who just moved in. He's from Los Angeles, California, and he's not happy to be in Salem because
Yeah, he's one of those West Coast kids. He's like, Mom, why'd you move to the East Coast? The waves aren't as big.
Oh, my room has stairs on the inside.
Mom.
Fall weather sucks.
Mom, why'd you move us away from California to a place where the cost of living is lower?
we have a bigger house instead of that one-bedroom apartment all five of us were sharing.
Yeah, but now I can't beat a discount Spider-Man on whatever that road is now.
Discount Spider-Man Road?
I've never been to LA.
Yeah.
So.
There's just a sign. It says Discount Spider-Man Lane.
Yeah, that's how it
Discount
works.
Spider-Man tickets, $35, clean restrooms.
What happens next, Jason?
Next, he doesn't believe in Halloween. It's Halloween, and everybody in Salem is like Halloween diehard fans. He's like, I don't like this, and he's just a moody teen about it.
Speaking of that, like the town of Salem is very much like witch obsessed.
Yeah.
And like really loves all like the whole culture behind that and Halloween. And if you had told the Puritans that while the Salem witch trials were going on, then would have been like, man, we messed up.
Yeah.
We like made it worse.
We made a theme for
Dang
ourselves.
it.
But he's really upset and grumpy and getting bullied a lot, so he gets all grumpy when he has to take his sister Danny trick-or-treating.
That's right. Side note, the bullies in this movie are the best movie bullies.
In the world.
Jay and Ice.
Jay and Ice.
Very nice.
Jay and Ernie. My name's not Ernie. It's Ice now.
Ice now. That's how you can tell because I went to the barber and he didn't put my name in it. He just put Ice.
Yeah.
So now my name's Ice.
Ernie
Like
didn't
identity.
fit.
Ernie didn't fit. So like, why could you like Ice? Could you
I
seem
could do like
a
Earn or maybe Knee.
Earn
No,
or
let's
Knee.
just come up with
Ice.
something new.
Ice? It's fine.
There's also the part of, there's Allison, his love interest.
Right.
Yeah, she's also there.
She's rich. That's her only
Yeah,
character trait.
big money, wears sweaters,
Knows things.
knows things.
Is
rich,
girl?
lady.
This girl. If girl knows things, then
Why not like me?
why not like me? If girl knows things, then who be wife then?
If girl have money, how me do work.
If girl like Halloween, how we be moody about things.
If girl not from West Coast, how can be pretty?
If girl reject phone number, how can?
How can me be with... if girl reject phone number, how come me be not virgin?
Speeding right along.
I had one more.
Go ahead.
If girl yabo, yabo.
Good. Speeding right along. So Max is taking his sister trick-or-treating, and he runs in Allison?
Yep.
Yeah, and...
Yeah,
he
they-
goes
He goes
into
to her house.
He breaks in.
He breaks
They
in.
trespass.
and steals her candy.
Their candy and their cider. He teaches his younger sister, 8-year-old Danny, how to break into rich people's houses. And I think that's the fall of capitalism, and I think we should follow it. Vote.
We all have to do it. We all
Eat the
have to.
rich.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich is candy.
Well, they're in
Eat
Victorian
the rich
dresses.
people's kids by making them swallow a potion and sucking out their soul.
Yeah, maybe the Sanderson sisters were onto something.
Exactly. They're
Sanders? See, I was right.
Sanders on sisters.
Yeah, Sanders. Well, maybe it is Sanders. Bernie Sanders' granddaughters. No, yeah, no, daughters.
Grandmothers.
No, it's Bernie Sanders' daughters because it's Sanders' son's sisters.
So is he also immortal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Bernie. The bird landed on him.
So Max is like, hey, let's all go to the Sanderson sisters' house because it was a museum and it shut down. And Allison's like, yeah, because it was too spooky. So they go over there and they're snooping around. And Max is like, oh, what's this? Is this the black flame candle that if a virgin lights it, the witches come back?
Now, this is one of my favorite parts because the girl looks at him like, well, I mean, the only way to find out is for you to light it because I can't light it.
Yeah.
It's literally the look on her
There's
face.
a lot of
So
weird...
does Danny, though.
Yeah,
Which is
she's
really
like,
scary.
yeah.
There's a lot of weird judgment of a 15-year-old boy being a virgin in this movie.
I actually have some problems with this movie. There's a lot of sexualization of minors in this film.
It's very strange.
It's a problem, and I was like, "Wow."
Let's play with them.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Just,
What's okay? I love the sisters, but Sarah's boys. I want to play with them. Children. I want to play with them.
Yeah.
Virgins. I want to play with
looking
them.
at it from a 2020 lens, I'm like, "Ooh, okay, cool." Yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing they were executed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were evil. That is a good point.
Exactly.
I can't believe the bad guys were bad.
Yeah.
He lights the candle, and because he's a virgin, this is what happens in the movie, guys. The witches return,
Yep.
and they try to eat the kids, but they escape using trickery of modern technology. And now the witches are on the loose exploring the modern world, and they're confused by things of cars, and they see all
Roads.
the roads.
The Black River.
And the kids are running to a gravesite, and actually they meet Binks as a cat now.
Yeah. Thinks that as a cat tries to stop them from lighting the black flame candle by attacking them, which is smart to do when you're a cat, but bad to do when you're a human stuck inside of a cat. And then he just talks to them, which it would be easier if he was trying to stop them from lighting the black flame candle to talk to them first.
Hey, I'm a talking cat. Magic's real. It definitely is real. Don't light the candle. You can tell magic's real because I'm literally a talking cat.
But then he also is like, grab the book, because that's where all the spells are for the Sanderson sisters. So what does Max do? He breaks into this glass thing holding the book and is like, don't mind if I do. Just takes it.
Yeah.
Another thing of stealing.
So at the gravesite, the witches chase them down and rise a zombie from the grave.
Billy. He's
Billy.
great.
They chase him around. There's some shenanigans where the sisters end up in a guy who's dressed like Satan's house, and they think he's their master. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
it's funny.
I
It's
totally
funny.
forgot about that part.
It's a little uncomfortable because the wife is like, beep, 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 and they're like, it's Medusa. And then she just catches her Satan-esque husband dancing with one of them. Ooh, naughty.
The kids are trying to tell people that the witches are around. No one's believing them. They end up at this party.
Where all of the parents in this
All
town,
the town's parents. And in this party, Again, the kids are trying to warn everyone. They try to warn their parents. And this is the, like, highlight, like, most talked about piece of the movie is where Winifred does, I put a spell on you.
That's, like, the famous part?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
You didn't pick up on that? That's, like, a key thing. Like, that's, like, the song.
That is the song that makes Halloween happen.
For those of you who are not in the room with me, so anyone who's not Tim, Sam, or Jayden, Tim has this look of such confusion.
This movie's not good. Like, it's just not good.
Get out of my
I just don't
recording
understand it.
studio.
It's just like I couldn't follow.
Okay, is it because you're tired?
No, I didn't understand it in general.
What I will say to the detriment of this movie is that a lot of the story beats happen in like these highly comedic times, so there's so much like white noise around the context of the movie.
Movie's exhausting. Like it is like it has really fun energy, which I think is what makes it like a holiday movie. Holiday movies typically have that, which is like really high energy, lots of stuff happening. Oh, look, Halloween! Like, but I just couldn't really follow the story very well. I was very kind of like lost for a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get lost, but that's only because I know the script word for word. So I'm just like, this is the part where they curse the people.
Yeah.
By saying dance, dance, dance until you die.
Yeah. So the witches curse all the parents in the building.
So at the end,
I just told you that.
I am comprehending.
That's why all of the parents were gone.
I just
so
thought
that
they
could
were
kidnap
drunk.
the
I was
kids.
like, oh,
No,
this is like the
dance
walk
until
of
you
shame.
die. You didn't hear the part that even said until you die. Like the Sanderson
No.
sisters locked them into that building, and that's why Max, Allison, and Danny and Binks were all like, cover your ears.
Listen, I watched that part and was like, oh, look, they're dancing. That's fun. I just thought it was a fun musical number. I didn't think it was like a plot point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that they disguise plot points into like these things that you don't think should be plot points, but they are.
It's a Penny or Take a movie. Any song is a plot point. Take after Status Quo in High School Musical. Plot point.
You know, High School Musical was my first ever musical. But it
Was it Homeschool Musical?
It was called Homeschool Musical. This is a real thing.
It's my first concert.
Where somebody took High School Musical and rewrote the script to be Homeschool Musical.
It was James,
And
right?
who were you?
James
Who were
Kennedy,
you?
shout
Who
out
do
to
you
you.
think
You better
he was?
listen to this podcast. It was like James and a couple other people.
It was Ryan.
But I was Ryan. And that kicked off my successful entertainment career.
How many fedoras did you have to wear?
I don't remember, but I do remember the fact that I had to salsa with this girl, and she was like a pastor's daughter, and they taught us like the salsa, and then the dad like yelled at me, and the directors was like, they can't touch, so we had to do the salsa like our hands had to hover, like while we did the
Which
salsa.
I think leans into Homeschool Musical. The witches chase these kids. The kids lead them to a school, lock them in the school's witch incinerator. You know, every school has a witch incinerator.
Well, this is Salem, so of course.
So, of course, it's built into every building.
Yeah, like just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case, 300 years later, 3 sisters show up riding vacuums. Here they are.
That's what's written on the oven.
On the oven. Do not use until witches need to be incinerated.
So they incinerate the witches, so they think, and go back home, have a nice night's sleep.
Adopt Binks because a human living in their house is fine, I guess.
A human cat.
A human cat.
Turns out the witches were actually okay. They walk out of the incinerator. I'm not sure. This is something that doesn't make a lot of sense to me because...
I got you on this.
Because they incinerate. They're gone.
Well, they kind of, if you watch, they turn into that green puff and they're
And
just
then they
screaming. And then, like, it calms down in the kiln or witch incinerator and they go back into it.
Yeah, so green is like the theme of their coming back because the floors light up green and that's where they're kind of thought to be, like, laid to rest from them getting hung.
Now I know how people feel when I talk about Lord of the Rings. Nothing makes sense, but oh wait, my bad. I didn't understand like tons of lore that was not explained.
Tim, you have to read Hocus Pocus Silmarillion
that's my bad.
to really get it. You have to watch the extended cut. That's 3
extended-
hours long.
The Hocus Pocus extended edition where it's
Yeah.
3 movies.
Yeah.
Yes. It goes way deep into, like, Billy's love triangle with...
One of the witches, Sarah, uses a siren song to get all the kids to come to their house so they can consume their souls and stay young forever and live after the sun rises.
Well, they also get the book back.
They do get the book back.
Because some dummies opened up the book.
Yes.
And then they stole the book and Danny and Binks.
Right.
And that's important.
So Danny is with the witches. Sarah is calling forth more children. And so at the witch's house, they're brewing a new potion, and things are looking up for them. But Max and Allison are to the rescue because they're like, we need a miracle. We need a sunrise. Wait, I have an idea. Max drives a car over, tricks the witches by turning on, like, the car's brights and says, hey, it's daylight savings time. Whoa, the sunrise. And the witches panic and freak out. Max is able to save his sister.
So I legitimately thought, because I didn't catch the whole car thing, I legitimately thought, like, maybe it is daylight savings time. Because this year, Halloween, like the next day is daylight savings. So I was like, oh, this is the end of the movie. But it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
We have a whole climax at a cemetery. So at the cemetery, Billy shows up and uses Max's pocket knife to undo his sewn shut mouth, and he's like, hey, I just wanted you guys to know I really hate the witches. That's why I've been chasing you and trying to grab you this whole time. I just hate the witches. Thought you should know. I'm here to help. And the kids are like, oh, cool. Thanks. Thanks, Billy the zombie. Real pal.
He's a good zombie.
Yes. They try using every defense they have against the witches until sunrise, including salt, a baseball bat, and that's it.
What else would you need? So, like, where does this salt thing? Is that like a known, like, Halloween thing?
It's
how do you use salt?
A circle of salt will protect you. Is like
from SpongeBob, the circle in the sand.
Yeah, the circle, and not wearing your sombrero in a funny way.
Oh yeah, then you gotta do like the circle.
Yeah,
and then
and no cheese cubes and so on.
Yeah.
That's a lot of steps.
Yep.
And they didn't bring half that stuff with them.
Just
salt
salt and brights.
Salt and brights.
So the sun is rising, and there's like a huge altercation of who's gonna drink the potion, and if Winifred's gonna suck their life force out, and then she doesn't.
And the sun comes up, and all the witches die. The end.
Yep.
Binks also, his spirit is finally free, so he can reunite with his sister, Emily.
And then, of course, the movie ends on a true virgin fashion, where he looks at his sister ghost.
Who's probably younger than Danny.
Yeah.
Like, probably
she's
six
or 7. And then he goes, I was just waiting for a virgin. Like, okay. Alright, I'll see you.
Yeah, they dog that kid so much
hard
for being a virgin. Like, the entire movie. Like, anytime it's like there's dead time, he's like, haha, you're a virgin.
I can't believe you, a 15-year-old.
A 15-year-old is a virgin. Boo. You said you're from LA.
Especially, like, his younger sister does it, too.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up. What? I have never seen people be upset that a 15-year-old's a virgin.
Yeah, like, I was half expecting his dad to give him a hard time. Where it's like, come on, Danny, be cool.
I thought you were my son, you know?
Yeah, ooh, I lost mine at 14.
That's wild.
But to your mom.
But to your mother and no one else. We were married.
We were married already. Son.
Son.
Oh, and the parents are freed.
Yep, the parents
yeah.
are freed. Happy ending. Witches are dead. The end.
The bullies are locked up in cages in the Sanderson house and probably won't be revisited by anyone ever again.
Yeah, they're probably gonna die.
They're just singing children's tunes.
And these bullies, they deserve it because they have committed the most heinous crimes in the world of stealing one pair of shoes and
Smashing pumpkins. If anybody smashed my outdoors pumpkins, it would be on site.
We would lock them in an old witch's
I would
house.
kill them. Yeah.
You're like pro-gun, but only so you can kill people.
Only
that
to
smash
protect
your
my
pumpkins.
pumpkins.
Pro-witch.
Yeah.
Pro-gourd.
Pro-gourd.
So before we get into our thoughts and feelings directly, I think we should talk about a little bit of fun facts, a little bit of trivia.
Yay.
Yay.
As we
Pierre.
mentioned, this movie is directed by Kenny Ortega, who's done many other Disney things like High School Musical, Descendants, Newsies, very big. And this was one of his first projects.
Okay.
Okay, nothing to
I
add.
thought there was more, and I'm
No.
like, oh, okay.
There's actually High School Musical references throughout this entire film.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed, but the Sanderson sisters are the Wildcats.
The fact that they got locked up in a high school.
Musical.
Musical.
Whoa.
High School Musical.
High School Musical.
Whoa,
Yeah.
you have a good point.
The baseball bat that they used to protect against the wishes is
Oh, yeah, they
from
play
I
baseball.
Can't Dance.
They play baseball in
Yeah.
High School Musical.
I like when Zac Efron's on the golf course and he looks very melodramatic.
Oh, when he does Bet on It? Yo, that song was my jam in middle school. I was just like,
I mean,
It's intense.
it's very intense.
Also, here's a
he looks
something.
himself in the reflection. Sorry.
It's a fact that confuses me to this day. For the whole movie, Binks was not voiced by the actor who plays Binks.
Nope. You can tell.
Like, even when he's a human, he's dubbed by Jason Marsden,
Yep.
who you would recognize as the voice of Max Goof.
Which, out of the two male characters in this movie, Max Human and Binks, you would think that Max Human would be Max Goof, just because they're the same character.
Yeah. I'm wondering
Yeah.
what that kid's voice was like, that they had to get another
Well,
voice.
because the other guy, he's is now kind of known for being what's the character's name? Like Timothy McGee from NCIS. He's kind of like a
person.
no, it's not.
Timothy McGee. Hey, you over there, Timothy McGee.
That's why they couldn't use his voice, was because it was
It's like
just-
that. Yeah, they casted the kid, and they're like, he's like really excited to be in this movie. And they're like, yeah, by the way, like we're not going to use your voice. And the kid's like, what? What do you mean? Why can't you use my voice? I don't understand what the problem is.
For
You sound like the lobster guy.
Hey,
There's a
man,
lot-
what's your
Who's
turn? Get
diving the
jacuzzi.
jacuzzi?
That was my favorite part, I think. The part that had nothing to do with the plot.
Nothing to do with the plot, just random lobster.
you're right.
Jacuzzi.
Lobster
time.
man.
Billy is played by Doug Jones, and for those of you who are fans of heavy makeup in movies, anytime you see like super heavy like makeup or CG, it's always Doug Jones. Like Pan's Labyrinth, or he was like the Silver Surfer. So this is one of his like earlier films for just like Hollywood's weirdo, and I think that's really cool.
I think Last Crusade was my favorite Doug Jones movie.
Explain that to me, please.
Doug Jones, and so Doug Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Oh yeah,
Doug Jones in the Temple of Doom, and Doug Jones in the Last Crusade.
yeah.
Jones, owner of the
I like-
Doug Jones Dibadone.
barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and foot massage.
I like the young
Motivated. Sorry,
I like the young Doug Jones Chronicles myself.
the Doug Jones Chronicles.
Yeah.
That show was good.
Maybe I'll visit it for this podcast.
I would love to visit that with you. I really like that show. I watched a lot of it.
And in terms of connections with the park, Hocus Pocus actually has the greatest stage show at Walt Disney World. Big parentheses. Had. But it was a show where basically the Sanderson sisters come back alive once again, and they're like, we have to create a Halloween potion to do the best Halloween party of all time. Let's invite all of our evil friends. And then Maleficent and Captain Hook and Cruella de Vil and like Dr. Facilier show up, and there's like music and live singing, which is rare for Disney shows.
And this year, the show will basically just be animatronics will come up on the stage and be like, we have to summon all of our friends. Oh wait, Disney fired all of them. Boo.
I will say the last Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party I went to, I think I watched that show like 4 times. Like almost every single time it was up there, I made a point to see some of it because it's that good.
It is that good.
It's one of the best live performances I've ever seen in a theme park.
This show has everything.
Yeah.
Sexual tension between Sarah Sanderson and Dr. Facilier.
Yeah, no, but really, I think it's one of my favorite live stage shows at Disney World because there was just moments, like the first time I watched it, where the Sandersons were singing the song, Tim, the famous song.
Which one?
Freebird.
Free falling.
Wait, is that what you think Freebird is?
No, it's just what came to mind.
I know, like you never heard Freebird. Like, oh yeah, Free Falling.
I'm white.
I'm white. Of course I've heard Freebird.
Like Cotton Eye Joe, man. Every white person knows.
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Where did you come from, Freebird?
But there was moments like when they hit like the like high note at the end where I got like goosebumps the first time I heard it because the actresses they hire for the live show. I
Oh, you're
almost
talking
said
about in the live show?
Yeah.
It's like you got goosebumps from this movie?
No, from the live show when they hit the high
incredible.
note together, it's like perfect harmonization.
Yeah, perfect
Like-
harmonization.
And it's like at such like a pleasing pitch to the ear, just that final like goodbye or bye bye.
Yeah, it like
bye
scratches, scratches that part of your ear that doesn't get scratched off.
No, and
just
it's
perfect.
beautiful. By the way, everyone, Disney laid off most of their equity performers, so we might never see this or any show again. So email guest.services@disneyworld.com and let them know you like live entertainment and to bring it back. But that's basically all I have for fun facts. Their merchandise is still everywhere. Actually,
Oh, it
there.
came out in the summer. That's another fun fact.
What happened?
How the movie came out in the summer.
Yes, the movie came out in like June
Yeah.
instead of fall, and it flopped big time when it came out. Apparently, people don't want to see a Halloween movie in the middle
Yeah,
of
which
summer.
is interesting because like think about like Beetlejuice. Like it's not necessarily like it's a horror comedy type thing, but it's not like Halloween themed.
No.
Yeah.
But like this is like specifically Halloween themed, so it's very interesting that it came out in June.
Right.
That's weird to me.
We should ask Kenny Ortega.
yeah,
Let's just
What were you
call him.
thinking?
Let's just call
I mean,
him up.
it's obviously a very successful movie now based off of the influence in multiple facets being cosplay. There's, what's it called? Isn't there like books or something? I feel like there's other like works of art that are out there that people have published.
They have
Stuff.
ABC Family to thank,
That's it.
/ now Freeform. Because this movie got very lucky after its release in that there are like no actual Halloween movies. Like I could count on like both my hands the number of like actual Halloween movies instead of like just a scary movie or a pseudo Halloween movie, like straight up, especially for families. There's really not that many options. So Disney Channel, ABC Family, tons of those types of networks would air this many a night. And I think that's why people our age tend to know it even more than the people who were kids when it first came out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because a lot of us were able to grow up with it, unless you were too busy in Homeschool Musical.
I will say I totally understand, like, knowing how my parents are, why they didn't really
Yeah.
like this movie. Because, like, just, there was a lot of it where I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's talk, I don't know if it's 100% official, but I think the actors have kind of been saying that things are starting to get rolling on a sequel to this. I think this is a good enough concept with good enough characters that I think it could be revisited. Maybe it'll be better, maybe it won't be.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Yeah.
But what I will say is it looked like all the actors in the movie were having so much fun.
Yeah. we'll say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Especially the sister trio.
Yes.
It is some of the best comedic acting that I've ever seen from a group of ladies who aren't necessarily comedic actors.
No, I think that's true. For a second, the way I heard that was like, they were really funny
For women.
and I was like, where are you going with this? And then I was like, I see what you're
yes,
saying.
me a woman.
Hey,
Well,
man.
Being-
there are women
went out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Jayden, Tim, and I will make sure to keep you on the right path so you're not sexist.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Us men.
Yes, us
We'll
men.
make
We'll
sure.
make
We'll
sure.
make sure we explain to you about sexism.
So I'm gonna go.
Okay, fine.
I'm going to, over there.
So
This is
guys,
my house. I can't go anywhere.
since live entertainment at Disney is dead and we're never going to see the show again, what sort of attraction do we think they could build for Hocus Pocus at the Disney parks that isn't the live show? Do we have any ideas to get the ball rolling?
Can I pitch not an attraction but also not a show?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a restaurant would be really cool. Because
Yeah.
the book has so many pages in it, and they're constantly talking about items that they need to get, and I think it'd be really cool to have a year-round Halloween-themed restaurant based off of the spells that they do and everything. You could have the music playing, you could have rooms that are specifically, like, this is the house, this is Salem, here's, like, plot points from the movie, yada yada, but I also just really like food. So
I can honestly see that idea working, but it's just like the dance hall where the party is taking
Yep.
place with the huge stage and the skeleton band
that would be cool.
coming out for sets and stuff, but just tables
Yes.
instead of
Instead of
dancing.
study eclipse and cosmic rays,
Exactly.
it's the skeleton band.
It's the skeleton band.
Well, and because I love the Hocus Pocus show for
Mickey's not so
for
scary.
Mickey's, yeah, because I love the Hocus Pocus show for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party so much, I would love to see the Sandersons represented all year long, and if we could get live performers again, which I hope we do, I would love to see, like, basically that song, like, sung live by them. Like, I would love for that to be an opportunity that could be daily versus just during Halloween. I think that would be amazing.
Where would you put this location-wise?
Liberty
Parks?
Square.
Liberty
Either
Square would be
Liberty
good.
Square, or I would put it on, like, you know where Sleepy Hollow is?
Yes.
I feel like if they were to close off the bridge connecting it from Main Street and also connecting it to the back of the castle and expand the building, they could make it work. Or they could do it in Liberty Tree Tavern, because that is a pretty big space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can almost do like
Or-
a Hoop-Dee-Duke type thing where it's like in Liberty
Yeah.
Square Tavern.
Or,
It could be
yeah.
Diamond Horseshoe because that has a stage.
Yeah.
And
And
a
it-
second floor.
And never
right?
gets
And
used.
it's like a white classic style Salem-y building.
That would work.
Tim, why do I have a feeling you have another idea?
Here's the thing. I will say normally I do my joke. I don't think this movie deserves the joke.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I just
Ouch.
don't. And I think it's one of those things where it's like a hype thing, where it's like this movie had so much hype around it, and I was just like, eh. However, I do think that this movie would be fun for like a cheeky Halloween overlay for Haunted Mansion at like Disney World, because like,
Okay.
they do the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay at Land.
That's a cute idea.
But I think it'd be cool here to where it's like pretty much the same ride, but just the entire time the Sanderson sisters just kind of come up and are like, ha ha, we did this, and that's horrifying.
Three, like the hitchhikers, the basement, like the house. That's such a
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
idea.
just something simple. Yeah.
I like that.
I have an idea.
Yes?
So we all know of Mickey and Minnie's like houses in Toontown Land.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to have this Anderson house existing kind of in its museum state as just like a walkthrough, kind of similar to Mickey and Minnie's houses. And because of all the spooky things that we hear about going around, there's like almost interactive or like noticeable things in this queue where it's magic happening, you know, like candles flickering on and off or potion bottles moving around, and you just kind of like
I like
walk
that.
around
That'd be
it.
fun.
You could like look up and see like a vacuum, a mop, and a broom like circling, flying above you.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. Like it's
Yes.
a walkthrough experience that tells a story.
But better than
Like how they were going to
Swiss
do the
Family
House of the
Robinson.
Strange thing, like right next to Haunted Mansion originally, where it was like, they had Haunted Mansion, and then there was like this whole other separate like walkthrough thing. Like you can almost put it right next to Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Like, look, it's Haunted Mansion, and then look at this other spooky house.
Exactly.
Like, it's kinda cool.
I think these are the most perfect attractions that could ever be built. Ever. So, thanks.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
But now's the time of the show where we have to decide if this is a hidden treasure or if it should be locked away. And I think we'll go person by person. And we want to go first.
I think it's a treasure. it is not a hidden
Yeah, I
treasure.
was gonna say it's not hidden.
No.
I think, this movie is near and dear to my heart, and I love it a lot, and I don't want to see it go in the trash. That's all I'll say.
Here's the thing. I didn't love it. I still think it's good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it needs to be locked away or anything. And I see why people like it, because I feel like if I watched this a lot as a kid, then I would have been more into it. Like, it's kind of the same thing as, like, you know, like The Princess Bride is a really big movie for me, because I watched it as a kid all the time. If you just show a random person, like, look at this amazing movie, people are going to be like,
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a cult classic type thing where I feel like if you grew up with it, then it's, like, really cool. So I'd say it's a treasure.
Yeah.
Not hidden, though. I knew about this movie for a long time.
Yeah. Sam?
I agree with all of you guys. Keep it out. That's it. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I definitely, I would agree that it's not necessarily hidden, but I also believe it's one of those movies that, as kind of Disney fans, you have access and you grow up with it, but I think it's one of those movies more of the general public might not be super aware of. As a whole, I'm sure anyone who listens to this show, this is not going to be one of my computer wore tennis shoes where it's like, no one's going to know what I'm talking
George
about.
of the Jungle.
George. And I am cheating a little bit, but it's my show. I could do whatever I want. It could be as hidden or not hidden of a movie as I please.
Well, you found one person who hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two
Yeah.
people who very much have.
Very much love the movie.
But I think, like, I'm kind of in the middle of you two and Tim, where I didn't necessarily grow up with it either. I was aware of it, but I didn't watch it till I was much older. And I like it a lot, and I think the Sanderson sisters themselves are great characters.
Me too.
As a film, is it a bit of a mess? Yeah. But on the other hand, it's not like you know what you're walking into for like a Kenny Ortega Halloween low budget like affair. It's going to be fun. There's going to be fun moments. You could analyze as much as you want, or you can just shut your brain off for a little bit.
Well, it's a kids movie.
It's a kids
right?
movie.
It's a kids
A
movie.
kids
and
movie about virgins.
And I have that same thing, like,
Yes.
the people that will argue Star Wars to the end of days are just like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, yeah, it's a kids movie. So
Yeah.
what do you expect?
That being said, I do think that this movie, there's a lot of stuff that was, like, ahead of its time, in a
The effects
sense.
are really good.
Yeah.
The effects were great, except for the cat.
And,
That was
like,
bad.
some of the jokes in there just, like, hit so hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the Halloween aesthetic is one of the best. The Sanderson sisters are some of the best witch characters ever.
I think I would love to see what happens next with it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of a determining factor for if a movie is good or not is, would you watch more? Like, I think that has to be put in consideration, and I would watch more. I would happily see more. So I definitely think it's a treasure. It's not one of my personal favorites that I've seen for the show, or even for our Halloween segment. Go watch Frankenweenie. Please watch it. It's so great. But
It's really good.
But Hocus Pocus, it's fun. It's fun, and I think if you're listening to this, most likely you already have an opinion on the movie. You've probably already seen it, so just keep watching it,
Yay.
or don't. Thank you guys for joining me. I know you guys have to get going, but I only have this Swiffer and a Roomba. So you have to pick.
I'll take the Roomba because I have good balance.
Yeah, I'd
I
probably
would just
say
do like one of
would-
those
you would do
elementary
better
school
on the-
skateboards.
Or you could, so my question was, I feel like, do you stand on the Roomba or do you sit down on the Roomba and it's like a big seat that like flies around?
I thought I could see you on it, like, kind of like just with your legs dangling.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it a Swiffer wet jet?
No.
That'll do.
All right.
We have a trash can too.
That's more fitting. Okay. I'll take that.
All right, hop on.
I'm on my mom's vacuum. Broom, broom.
Am I on Jayden's trash can.
Wow, Jayden, look at them soar away.
Vote.
It's a beautiful sight.
Hey, go on, Garrison. Make sure you.
The scariest thing of all is the reality after the election if you don't
Oh
vote.
God.
Yep.
So please vote.
Have a good night.